I'm lucky because I get to work on so many things that I love and adore. It's what a gift, right? But like, this one's extra special.
When there are scary things we don't understand, our minds try to fill in the blanks. Sometimes the best thing to do is to face it.
You're doing okay. It's not real. It's okay.
What is this supposed to be?
It's the thing that comes for your kids when you're not paying attention.
I really liked the script a lot. The script was a really wonderful adaptation of a very short story, but it was just the fear that I had of going into the places spiritually and psychologically that Lester lives in, compounded with the reality that this film, the narrative launches from Lester's introduction into the story. If for some reason I don't rise to the occasion, if my skills aren't strong enough to deliver the scene that this film needs, I knew it wouldn't work, and so I was really scared of taking on that immense amount of pressure. There are massive stakes in any role you ever take on as an actor. You're always going to be, hopefully, if you're doing work I think that like matters, challenging yourself, pushing yourself, going places that maybe you don't necessarily want to go because you know that you can get some of the best creative, I think, output when you do that. Here we are, you know, I'm confronting the potential of taking on a role that came from the imagination of one of my favorite writers and one of the greatest writers, Stephen King. There's this inherent pressure that comes with that as both a fan. I'm a huge genre fan, I'm a huge horror fan, and I'm a huge horror lit fan, and I'm thinking, wow, A, this character is super tricky, B, the character's gonna go to places that are super tricky, and C, this is Stephen King. Like, this is something that came from his heart, from his imagination, from his life experience. I have to create something that he's going to see at some point. So I'm not over exaggerating when I say that it was very hard for me to say yes to participating in the Boogeyman. And I eventually met Rob, and that was the ticket. I loved Rob's film Host, but I also was, you know, having to consider like, boy, I'm already really feeling emotionally and psychologically exhausted after the pandemic and all the darkness that we've all been through together collectively. I had taken on some really challenging roles in the last year and a half or two. I was really just, so resistant to having to throw myself off a cliff into a dark place with a complete stranger. I met Rob. He's got this magical wonder in him. He's got this brain that is incredibly, inspiring, and his vision for the film and the way he talked about the film gave me a lot of confidence, and I thought I would like to work with this guy.
JD, there's something in my room. You believe me, don't you?
There's no such thing as monsters. You need to grow up. I'm serious, Sawyer. I need to be alone.
Horror gives us an opportunity to explore fear in a safe way that takes us up to the very edge of what it is that scares us. And most of the time, I've always believed that that thing was death, our fear of death, our fear of the unknown, our fear of letting go, our fear of shedding these mortal coils and moving off into who knows what. During the pandemic, both of my parents died. It really broke me in a lot of ways. It was very hard. And I had never recognized, or even though I'd lost people in my life before, how hard letting go can be, how hard mourning is, how much of a toll it takes on our minds and souls. And in this film, mourning, loss, losing those you love, has the potential to drown you in a pit of suffering that is so isolating. And it's really tricky because if you don't try to connect with others or talk about others or get the help that you need, you're just sinking deeper into it and it's consuming you. And I really feel like Rob just hit the nail on the head with the way that he explored that in his adaptation of the story.
Dad, you have to listen to me.
Okay. I'm listening.
Sweetheart, let me handle it.